Tropical vacations ending in tragedy. What is going on?
That's what folks are trying to figure out, because there are at least 4 cases that we've reported in recent weeks. You remember we told you about Tammy Lawrence Daly, the Delaware woman who was nearly beaten to death in the Dominican Republic back in January. See her picture on the top left. Then a Texas couple died of a mysterious illness while on vacation in Fiji in May. Now, late last month, 3 Americans died at the same Dominican Republic resort in just a matter of days. One of them, a woman from Allentown, her name is Miranda, who was on vacation with her husband. So this morning, we're going to explain what you need to know about incidents like this from the perspective of a travel expert. We have Mark Murphy here and an attorney, Ken Rothweiler, because if something happens, what can you do? And can the hotel be held responsible?
Yeah, so Mark, the travel guy, let's start with you.
Yeah.
These advisories, you travel all over the world.
Yeah.
Do you pay attention to advisories? Why are they ever issued?
Well, they're issued in case there's an event that happens in a particular destination. So in the Dominican Republic, there's been some things that have been happening. So they put out a level 2 advisory, which they raised it from level 1. But pretty much most of the world is on a level 2. Like literally parts of Philadelphia.
How many levels are there?
There's 4 levels. So it just keeps going up. So if you get to that point where you're at the highest level, it's basically like a no-go zone. Do not travel to that country.
But the DR, that issue is a level 2?
That's a level 2. That just basically means exercise caution. You know, don't wear expensive jewelry. You know, don't wander around.
There's been crime.
There's crime. There's crime. I mean, a lot of these places are great destinations because they got great beaches, etc. But like you take Punta Cana, it's behind a security gate. You have to enter through that security gate. It's patrolled. So if you leave that area and you go out on your own and you're hanging out in a local area, you're putting yourself at risk.
But it's important that you mention that. Don't wander around, or if you leave, because some of these incidents happened at the resort, on the resort property.
Correct. Like the lady who was attacked.
Beaten up.
All we know at this point is she was attacked. It's obvious because she got, I mean, terrible pictures. And she can't identify the person. She thinks it was a resort employee because she said she saw a logo on the shirt. Was it reported to the police initially? You know, what did the resort do? We don't know any of that because this happened in January and now we're hearing about it today.
Attorney Ken, what can people do?
Depends what the facts are. Just like Mark said, we don't really know enough of the facts here. I mean, it's very sketchy as to what happened. I mean, that one couple died of pulmonary edema. You know, what caused that? What was the problem?
They go into the room, they never come out.
Yeah, that's true.
My money on that is carbon monoxide. If you want to look at what happened there, I'm guessing carbon monoxide, because you had that other individual just a few days earlier, same thing. And a lot of these properties have multiple buildings.
Right.
So was it a carbon monoxide thing? Did they not properly, you know, recognize that? And then did they even stay in the same room? That's what we don't know.
And of course, this is all, you know, it's conjecture because we don't know. There hasn't been an official ruling. But you would think if it was carbon monoxide, wouldn't more people have issues? Because it's a hotel room. There's several rooms on a floor.
It could have just been in that hotel room because a lot of them have their own self-contained units. It's not like it's like a house where it's one unit, right? So that unit could have been faulty. We just don't know. That's the problem.
And even if that's true, you may not be able to bring a lawsuit here. Remember, you have to be able to be served here. It has to be, there has to be some connection to the United States. So if you go away and you're in a hotel that has no connection to the United States, you can't bring a suit here.
You're dead on. And a lot of times I hear attorneys go on that don't understand travel law, and they don't realize that, like, when that Costa Concordia sank, you would have had to go to Genoa, Italy.
That's exactly
to file.
right.
And people are talking about, well, I'd sue him, I would do this and that. And I'm thinking, good luck, because you're out.
Well, let me tell you, but you have to be a little bit clever. I mean, we trial lawyers, we try to figure out how we can do that. A lot of times, if there's a tour group that may have put that tour together, vacation together, you can bring it here because of the tour group has a connection to the United States. So there has to be a connection. You have to be able to serve the defendant here.
Hold on. Well, this is all. How do we protect ourselves? You're all over the world. You travel all over the world. Are you concerned about going to certain countries?
I am concerned about going to certain countries. I mean, the trip that I just took, you know, I went to Scotland and Ireland and Wales and Norway, no problem. But some of the other places in the world that I would consider traveling to, yeah, I have major concern about that because of some of these things that go on. I mean, that one woman that, you know, got knocked over the head and dragged and put into a hole and almost killed.
On the property.
On the property. Unbelievable.
That doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense.
And they do have security cameras at these properties. Yeah. And so my question is, it happened later at night, from what we've read. It happened, you know, in between these the lobbies. My question then is, they have footage. They know who's working at that point in time. They can narrow down the list of potential suspects and then present to her, and also know the whereabouts of most of those employees pretty much anywhere you go. That's the key.
But aside from the woman, though, the people in the hotel room, the couples and the woman from our area, can they hold the hotel responsible since they died since that's a different situation?
They would have to bring it in the DR or wherever that
Good luck with
corporate
that.
location is.
That's exactly right. Absolutely.
Did you see what happened yesterday with Cuba?
Aye.
So what did the president do?
So basically, immediately, cruise lines can't go to Cuba,
Like
which
boom.
is. Yeah, and so to me, I understand the geopolitical reason. They're trying to put pressure on Cuba to get the hell out of Venezuela. That's the logic, right? But they're screwing up thousands of people that have planned, in some cases for years, to go on this great experience, and now they can't.
But if you're already booked, can you still go? If you have your ticket?
This is one of the questions. No, they're already redirecting the cruise itineraries.
Oh, I thought they would be grandfathered in.
If it was, they specifically said if you're already booked with like a tour that has accommodations on land, or you got like a plane ticket, then you can go ahead. But they didn't mention cruises, and then we've checked again this morning, and they're already redirecting these itineraries, so people are not going to be able to go.
Redirect you to what?
Well, that's the nice thing. You can't redirect
Jamaica.
the hotel. You know, you can't move the hotel to a different island, but you can move a cruise ship to a different itinerary.
That's true.
But a lot of people will book that cruise ship and that itinerary because it's Cuba.
Well, right.
So it just stinks.
Yeah.
And I understand, you know, both sides, but it stinks for the travel folks.
Here's something that stinks. We got to go. I'd rather just talk to you guys.
I'd love to talk to you, too. It's good seeing you guys again.
All right.
Yes.
We gotta
Nice
make some
meeting
money.
Nice meeting you, too. Loved it.
We'll be right back.